They say, unless this step is taken, Mr. Patel will take swift legal action to uphold his rights and his reputation.
I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret
that's
Service
a bunch of
member
horse hockey.
that died on 9/11.
Oh, that Vice President
You are out of
Harris's
line.
life because you put those agents out of position.
Mr.
Did you have a
Chairman.
radio with
Mr.
you?
Fallon,
Did
your
you wear a
time
vest?
has
Did you have a
expired.
weapon?
Mr.
No.
New FBI director appointed by President Trump named Kash Patel said he was not going to play around with the media. If they hit him and defame him and attack his credibility and legitimacy, he'll respond in kind. Well, this woman did just that, and she got a letter from Kash and his attorneys. She wrote this. She's an MSNBC contributor. She posted this, says, uh-oh, I just got a nasty gram from Kash Patel. We'll see what the letter says, and we'll also take a look at what's happening to Kash Patel, who has now been apparently attacked by Iran in a cyber attack. And there's more. A lot of reaction to Kash Patel and others in the government, including this Secret Service acting director, Ronald Rowe, got into it in Congress today. These two absolutely screaming at each other, and it was a sight to see. So we've got all that coming up and reaction, but we're starting with Kash Patel's nasty gram to Olivia. She said, today, Kash Patel sent a letter to my lawyer threatening legal actions and demanding that I retract my comments on MSNBC about his unfitness to serve as the FBI director. This aligns with his threats against the media and political opponents, revealing how Kash might conduct himself if he's confirmed. I stand by my statements. I'm not retracting anything. My priority remains the safety and the security of the American people. I am not the only one who has expressed concerns about him, so why me? And so it begins. So here's Kash's letter over to her. Wrote the following from his attorney, the Binnell Law Group, December 4th, over to Olivia and Mark, her attorney, calling this a retraction demand and a document hold and preservation demand. Not playing. All right, guess what? Dear Miss Troy, this law firm represents Kashyap Patel. Litigation will be filed against you if you fail to publicly retract defamatory statements that you made about Mr. Patel on MSNBC on December 2nd. Be further advised that you should identify and preserve all hard copy and electronically stored documents, information, and data that relate in any way to Mr. Patel and your statements about him on MSNBC. On December 2nd, you, Olivia, appeared as a live guest on MSNBC and made several false and defamatory statements about Mr. Patel. Now, these comments include that Mr. Patel would, quote, lie about intelligence. And you say he would, quote, lie about making things up on operations, to the point where Mr. Patel put the lives of Navy SEALs at risk when it came to Nigeria. And you said that Kash Patel was even misinforming Mike Pence. Now, Olivia, this is a complete fabrication, and you know it is false by virtue of your former position in the White House. At no point did Mr. Patel ever lie about national intelligence, place Navy SEALs at risk, or misinform the vice president. Not only did you have actual knowledge of the falsity of this smear, so you know it, but you also did so with the malicious intent of degrading his character and of cynical self-promotion. I'm going on MSNBC tonight. This is, of course, not the first time that you've milked your former title as a means of spreading lies about your associates of President Donald Trump. You've already embroiled yourself in a lawsuit for your disgusting lies about Ambassador Rick Grinnell. So Mr. Patel demands that you retract your lies in a public statement on your X account within 5 business days of receipt of this letter. She did not do that. She said she stands by her statements. She's doubling down. I stand by my statements, Kash, so you can just shove it. I stand by him, she says. They say, unless this step is taken, Mr. Patel will take swift legal action to uphold his rights and his reputation. Now, with this letter, you were also on notice of your ongoing obligations to preserve documents related to Mr. Patel. And accordingly, you must ensure that you, your agents, and all sources of information upon you which relied are preserving all of your documents. Facebook, Signal, WhatsApp, Telegram, and more. Audio, visual recordings, and anything that relates in any way to any of these conversations. Without any limitation, this requires you to preserve all your research and due diligence you conducted, if you did any, and instructed others to conduct relating to Mr. Patel. All right, Olivia. The laws and rules prohibiting destruction of evidence apply to electronically stored information as well. Don't you be deleting your things. This includes backups. Don't delete those either. Now, please confirm receipt of this letter and confirm your intent to retract your statement within 5 business days. And please also confirm you intend to adhere to your obligations to preserve all of these records. Now, this is not a complete recitation of Mr. Patel's rights and remedies, ours right there, all of which are expressly reserved. Sincerely, your friend, Jesse R. Bunnell, coming at you from Bunnell.com. And Kash Patel, not playing around. Now, he's also been attacked, apparently, in a cyber attack by Iran again. It wasn't the Russians this time? That's good. At least they brought in a new character this season. That's good. The FBI recently, they told Kash Patel, the Russians are attacking you. So we're going to have to get a FISA warrant for everybody. The exact timing of the cyber attack is unclear, obviously, but it was before Trump named Patel as his choice to head the FBI. The hackers are believed to have targeted some of Patel's communications, or is it the Chinese who hack every single telecom, basically? It's unclear whether they actually access communications. FBI doesn't want to talk about it. So the guy who's going to come replace Christopher Wray, FBI says, got hacked by the Iranians. We'll see. Without specifically acknowledging the attack, Trump transition spokesman Alex Pfeiffer said, yeah, Kash was a key part of Trump's first administration. We know 3 Iranians were charged for an Iranian plot. All right, we'll see. So nobody really cares or trusts the FBI at all. Same goes for the Secret Service. Now, this was an interesting exchange today that was fiery. Representative Pat Fallon was there. There was a hearing today on the Butler January 13th assassination attempt of President Trump, and one of the most useless people in our federal government called Ronald Rowe, he came out and started screaming at this representative for asking him questions and holding him accountable. It's a spicy one.
Recognize this photo?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is that a remembrance of September 11th?
It was.
Was it in New York?
It was at Ground Zero.
Okay. Who's usually at an event like this closest to the President of the United States, security-wise?
The sack of the detail.
Special agent in charge of the detail. Were you the special agent in charge of the detail that day?
Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh, no, leave that one up with
we're
the
putting it
circle
up.
around me. Thank you. Actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the sack of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that.
I was
I'm asking
there,
you if you were
Congressman.
were you the special
there
agent in charge?
to show respect
You were not.
for a Secret
Oh, that's
Service
a bunch of
member
horse hockey.
that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you were trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir,
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please.
You are out of line,
Me.
Congressman.
I'm an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you were
I
playing
am a public
politics.
servant who has served this nation and
Pound the
you
table.
time
Question.
on our day, on our country's darkest
Mr.
day.
Chairman,
Committee
you
will
not
come
answer-
to
not
order.
politicize it.
Committee will come to
I'm
order.
asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that
No,
day?
I wasn't. I was there
Oh, no,
representing
Mr.
the
Chairman,
United
I'm
States
just
Secret
asking you yes or
Service,
no.
sir.
Mr. Fallon, your
and
time's
did not
expired.
affect protective
Fallon,
You know
operations.
why
your
you were
time has
there?
expired.
Because you wanted to be visible, because you were auditioning for this
I was
job.
there to
that
pay
you're not gonna
respect for a
get
fallen
till
member of
January
this
20th.
agency.
You endangered
You are
President
out of
Biden's
line,
life,
Congressman.
Vice
You are
President
out of
Harris's
line.
life, because you put those agents out of position.
Mr.
Did you have a
Chairman.
radio with
Mr.
you?
Fallon,
Did
your
you wear a
time
vest?
has
Did you have a
expired.
weapon?
Mr.
No.
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Kind of want to run for Congress after watching that, right? I think they maybe should just go down there, arm wrestle, thumb wrestle, or something, and just settle this. But it was very explosive, obviously, as you can see. But Susan Crabtree, who is like the Secret Service whisperer, which I like, that just came to me, because she gets all the secret news from them. She hears all the things. She wrote, "Scoop, Secret Service sources are incensed over this chaotic screaming match between Rowe and Fallon." They're like, they can't even believe it. They are telling me that they view Rowe's angry response as a pure deflection. Rowe is saying that he had a right to move the top agents assigned to protect Biden and Harris out of the protection line of duty because he worked either on or after 9/11, helping sift through the debris. Makes no sense. And if he joined in 1999, what was he there doing cleanup? Was the Secret Service there part of the 9/11 cleanup efforts? What? Makes no sense at all. Now, while that work is honorable and the nation owes him a debt of gratitude for that because it likely involved trying to find survivors, I'm told hundreds of Secret Service agents were called in to do that work. They were, I guess, in the weeks after 9/11. That work involved going to what is called the Fresh Kills landfill. It was not at the World Trade Center itself. Did he actually go there? I have several questions into the Secret Service press office to clarify exactly what he was referring to. Thank you, Susan. The hell's he talking about? Also, being assigned to work on or after 9/11 has nothing to do with why he chose to be in the 9/11 in the photo op and change protective protocol by moving the top agents farther away from Biden so that he could be seen, right? He moved them away so he could have his face there. Fallon asked if he was jeopardizing Biden and Harris's lives by doing that, whether he had a gun or a radio on him. Then he started screaming, 9/11 9/11. Rowe said he had a gun and a radio and claimed that the protective mission wasn't compromised. Sources say it's hard to tell if he had a gun on him during 9/11, but he's not wearing an earpiece, and that means he was not in the protective posture and likely did not have a radio on him, right? So screaming lunatic who is doing a terrible job at the Secret Service and has been doing a terrible job there for decades is moving people around so he can be in photos with Biden. So that's him. Now we got questions about Kash Patel, and there's a debate that's happening right on Capitol Hill over this. Some people say Kash Patel is going to be terrible, and some people say he's going to be amazing. So here's one who is a Democrat senator called Chris Murphy from Connecticut against Kash Patel, and we'll see what Mark Wayne Mullen says in favor of Kash Patel, starting with this fella.
This announcement that Donald Trump is going to fire the director of the FBI.
Bye, Chris.
His term is not up, and put in Kash Patel, a political sycophant.
Yeah, okay. Like Merrick Garland is not the Democratic Party.
And I don't completely understand why everybody doesn't understand how big this is. Donald Trump told us during the campaign that if he was going to be elected, he was going to use his power.
That's why we elected him.
The Department of Justice and the FBI into a political witch hunt operation.
No, that's not what he said.
To go after.
That's your framing of it, but he is going to go after the people who broke the law there, Chris.
For his political opponents, and he's doing it.
Good.
That's what
he won.
Kash Patel's qualification is to be FBI director. That he is loyal to Donald Trump. That he believes the FBI should be involved in the business of hunting down
criminals,
the political opposition to Donald Trump.
Criminals who broke the law.
What does that mean for you? Well, first, it means that there's no political dissent or speech in this country that is safe. But second, it means that the FBI is...
You're speaking right now, weirdo.
...going to get out of the business of actually going after real criminals.
Like who? January 6ers and Catholic anti-abortion activists?
Keeping you safe from gun smugglers, from drug traffickers, from corrupt Wall Street executives.
Like who?
And instead, they're going to spend all their time going after people who dare politically oppose Donald Trump, or people who think that we should actually have fair elections in this country. This is an assault on democracy, but it's also an assault on you.
You're still doing the assault on democracy thing?
Because the FBI isn't protecting you, isn't protecting the rule of law, isn't making sure our streets are safe. If somebody like Kash Patel is the director of the FBI who has made it clear that he thinks the #1 priority of law enforcement should be to act as political police in this country. This is a big deal.
No, you guys have weaponized the FBI and the DOJ and made them into political entities. So somebody needs to come in there and strip out the politics. That's what Kash Patel is going to do. You have liberalized the entire institution, and so now reverting that back to the norm where it becomes apolitical to you feels like it's a political attack because you've so pushed the institution to the left that any change from that current domain is going to feel like it's an attack on you, but it's not. You guys have been corrupted. The American people determined that. All of your political weaponized prosecutions, no one cared about. They voted to put Trump back there. It was a veto on all of your efforts. And Mark Wayne Mullen is here saying he's happy to advocate on behalf of Kash Patel. He's going to be the right person to come in and clean house that we absolutely need.
And so what are your thoughts on him initially?
I'm thrilled. I mean, he's been very outspoken about the reforms that need to take place in the FBI. He's very supportive of understanding the field agents. They're not the problem. They're fighting the bureaucracy on the 7th floor of the Hoover building anyways. And I'm very excited about this, him getting through this process. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen.
And so, I think a lot we hear from Democrats, they're worried that he might try to weaponize.
Of course. Yeah, of course the Democrats are trying to weaponize. He's concerned that he's going to weaponize the FBI. The Democrats are the ones that weaponize the FBI. They're the ones that came after Trump. They're the ones that created the fake dossier reports. I mean, he's there to clean up their mess and take politics out of it.
He's going to de-weaponize
it. Back to what they're supposed to do, and that's to look after the American people and the interests of the United States. I believe Kash is going to do that. It's foolish and absolutely zero credibility for the Democrats to even mention that he's going to weaponize the FBI.
And so, not just with him, I think with all the nominees, there's this question right now about FBI background checks for the nominees. Do you think that they should all go through that?
What I have said is that they should be held to the same standard that the Biden administration was held to. And I don't remember ever getting this question during the confirmation processes for the Trump administration team. But all the noms should be held to the same standard that the previous administration has dealt with too.
That sounds fair.
Yep. That means a background check, right?
Yes.
So that means doing a background check. Did the Biden people do that? Yeah, well, the problem is that the Biden people didn't have the FBI raiding their homes. You know what I mean? Did the FBI spy on Biden's campaign or no? I don't think so. I think they spied on Trump's campaign. Did they create rigged narratives about Russia collusion for Joe? No, they didn't. They covered up his Ukraine collusion. So forgive us if we're not enthusiastic about the FBI solving these problems. So at the top of the FBI, Chris Murphy's freaking out, and Ronald Rowe is pounding the table because he has a lot to be fearful about. The new Secret Service director, whoever that happens to be, hopefully uncovers their incompetence and their role in allowing Trump to be shot in the head.